Hey Sag, how has Scorpio season been treating you? Let's find out. I hope you all have been making the most of November 2019. This reading is, of course, for Sagittarius suns, moons, rising signs, Sagittarius, Venus, Mars, or any other placement. The messages still may be for you, even if you just happened upon this reading. Maybe Sag is just important to you for some reason at this time. What Jupiter's doing, what house Sag rules for you, right? The 10 of fire and the 4 of water did fall out of the deck. And I think, yeah, these are your first two cards. This is at the center of your reading, Sag. A heavy burden and an offer that you don't want to accept. This is the Game of Thrones Tarot that we're using, by the way. Information on this deck and any other deck I use in Lunartics Tarot readings can be found down below in the description box. Along with information about personal readings, links, my email, etc., all down below. Ace of Earth in the recent past for you, Sag. The Judgment card is in the near future. The Three of Swords is your advice card. And I just want one more card for you, Sag, in this short reading. It is an abbreviated Celtic cross, and then we will talk more about each of the cards. So, of course, because I said I just wanted one more, we got 2. The 5 of Swords and the 8 of Coins. 5 of Air and the 8 of Earth show up as your more distant future. So beyond that Judgment card, which does carry Aquarian energy with it a lot of times for me. Bottom of the deck, we have the 7 of Chalices, 7 of Cups. This is the 7 of Water. So let's start in the past, Sag. It looks like an opportunity has come in, an earthly opportunity. It's something that would improve your physical well-being, your health, your wealth, your place that you live, the place that you work, right? Your daily physical well-being. An opportunity regarding that physical realm for you has come in the recent past. But for whatever reason, I think I'll draw one clarifier for you all with the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck on that 10 of Wands, on that 10 of Fire. Because for whatever reason, this has turned into a burden for you. And perhaps that's why you're not going to accept the offer that's coming in now. You decided to take this earthly opportunity, take advantage of it here in the recent past, and watering the seed that you were gifted from the divine, most likely when we see an ace, watering that opportunity, right? Watering that seed has turned into somewhat of a burden. Seeing that through has turned into a burden for you. And it also may be the end of a spiritual cycle when we see the 10 of Wands. Maybe the end of a creative cycle, the end of a cycle regarding something that you're very passionate about. So as I said, then currently in being offered something else, maybe another opportunity, maybe an offer of love, an emotional offer from someone else. You're too burdened to take on this other opportunity, this new offer, or it's just something that you're withdrawing from because you're not interested in it, or just not interested at this time, so you're withdrawing. It looks like you are headed toward calmer mental and emotional states as a result of seeing this project, the spiritual journey through, finishing the work that you need to do to water the seed, to take advantage of this opportunity, this earthly opportunity that's come in. In doing so and seeing that through, one, you may need to take a break if it's that burdensome when we see the 10 of Wands. But two, in following that journey, finishing that, walking that path, it takes you to a calmer mental and emotional state. So for some of you, this means literally moving. This just came through earlier today. So must have been in the reading that I did for Geminis this morning. I believe that's the last reading I did. Interesting, Sag. Of course, right? Of course, Geminis. I just said the same thing. You know, you may be literally moving, but certainly mentally and emotionally, you're moving on to a calmer state. So if you're not actually moving, then this clarifier is saying that's what this heavy burden, finishing this project, this small journey within inside your larger journey, right, takes you to a calmer mental and emotional state. That's why you're finishing it. That's why it's worth it. For others, it's saying that what is so burdensome about this transition is that this opportunity is a literal move, a literal physical transition. And so it's just puts a lot on your plate. That means there's a lot to do. Maybe a lot you're leaving behind, especially since that seems especially relevant since we are in Scorpio season still, of course, this season of death and rebirth, destruction where it is necessary, right? And I think this is the move for you, Sag. It looks as far as the heavy burden that you're carrying, seeing this opportunity through, fully taking advantage of it, even though it is not the easiest thing you've ever done, right, is the move, because this looks like a very lucky opportunity at this time. As I said, it is a gift from the divine, and also we're in the last couple weeks of Jupiter being in Sag, right? So that's especially going to affect you if you identify with the sign of Sagittarius in any way, but it also just affects all of us in a positive way, right? For some of you, it may be a really lucky opportunity to physically use your voice in a way that you haven't before. I don't know if it's a singing opportunity, a speaking opportunity, a job where you're speaking or performing using your voice, your words, more than you had been. And it's the type of opportunity, because of the nature of what you're given the opportunity to do, it's the kind of thing that might only come around once in a lifetime for some of you. Or may not come around that often, may be difficult to take advantage of, even if it did at different times in your life, if it resurfaces at another time. So I do, again, lots of indications that is the move for you, seeing that through, and even if it means a literal move. So it's certainly shifting things in a positive way for you mentally and emotionally. The burden, like I said, may really come in the fact that you can't take everybody with you. You feel like you're leaving people behind energetically, even if you aren't physically. For some, it's both. 88 is on the table, though, so this boat is heading you straight toward prosperity. We have that 8 of Pentacles that I showed you in the more distant future that showed up, which we'll move in order and talk about that. But then on the bottom of the clarifier deck, the 8 of Pentacles. So if this is a new opportunity to move and physically be with a partner of some type, or if this is an opportunity for you to really partner with someone in order to do the work you love to do or want to do at this time, or just you partnering with that art, that talent, that work itself. In any case, this transition, this partnership between you and your work, you and a new business partner, you and a new partner of any kind, it's a positive, beneficial, harmonious, again, lucky, fortunate, maybe rare opportunity and combination, coupling, whether it's romantic or not. It's a place where your love is understood. It's all leading you towards some hard work, some long hours, some repetitive work, but utilizing your gifts, your abilities, crafting, creating, but putting your head down and putting the hours in, right? Doing something that utilizes skills you want a chance to utilize, either because you need to earn using those skills, or you want to see if you can earn learning using those skills. And I see you earning. I see you getting a return, you know, working long hours, yes, but receiving back what you deserve for that. I don't think it's a place anybody wants to stay in forever, but it gives you a chance to hone this talent, to display this talent, to feel more confident and appreciated in doing so, right? So it's this very necessary stage. And then as you move into the near future with the Judgment card, well, with the Judgment card showing up right after the Four of Cups, you really want to inspect this emotional offer that you're being given. Now, if this were to keep you from, or take you away from, or greatly distract you from taking full advantage of this opportunity, this physical opportunity to improve this earthly opportunity to improve your physical well-being, right? That's coming in the recent past. If this new offer, emotional though it is, were to take you away from this, keep you from this, again, distract you from it, then I don't think that that's the move. But with the Judgment card showing up right after that Four of Cups, you know, when we see this, we want to ask ourselves if we're sure about this decision to withdraw. In the near future, are you going to regret having said no to someone about something once you're in a slightly different mind state? Do you want to just ask for more time to decide rather than completely say no and push it away? And when I say those are questions to ask yourself in this scenario, absolutely, with a general reading, that's what I mean. Ask yourself. We can get more specific in a personal reading to see what these offers and opportunities mean for you, yes, but in a general reading for some of you, there must be a move here, because I just keep wanting to say the move. And I mean, I say it every now and then, but not like this. So there really is a move for a lot of you, but yeah, it can be for some of you that you immediately regret rejecting this offer. And with the Seven of Cups also on the bottom of the deck, the Seven of Water here can be saying, do you have to decide right now? Because the results of said decision, how you truly feel about your own decision and that emotional offer, what action the other person takes once you accept, or in this case, it looks like most of you are going to reject that offer on the path that you're on now, right? Your feelings, their actions are going to be clear and apparent in the near future. With this Judgment card, you are going to see whether or not you weighed that out correctly, made the right decision. And the other reason I say all this is because the Three of Swords, the Three of Air being your advice card, it can be saying, to be mindful of whether or not you're going to disappoint yourself, break your own heart in some type of way, maybe not quite that extreme, but let yourself down by not considering this offer long enough, by not maybe just asking for more time. Do I have to decide right now? I'm in a burdened place. I'm in a confusing place. Can I wait to give you some type of an answer? And that may not be available to a lot of you, if it has to do with a job or something like that. But it likely has to do, again, with something you feel emotional about. And if you don't have the ability to ask for more time to wait, then that's one thing. But if you simply don't want to consider this offer any longer, reconsider that attitude. Ask yourself why. If it's because you think this person is making an emotional offer to you, but ultimately they're going to be involving you in a three-party situation if you accept that offer. If your intuition is hinting that at you, letting you know that this person is bringing an energy of, cheating, lying, betraying, trying to begin something with you while someone else is involved and not telling you, then that is why your instinct is immediately to push this offer away, to withdraw from it, to reject it, right? And you will know that. But especially if you have been in a state of confusion, fantasizing, entertaining the possibility of choosing or walking many different paths but unsure, or maybe even just a state of escapism, indulging in drugs, alcohol, too much TV, partying, whatever, etc., in order to avoid decisions you have to make, burdens that are on the table, especially if you've been in that type of wishy-washy energy, that type of avoidant energy, or just indecisive energy, right? Then if you can take longer to answer about this emotional offer, if you can take longer to consider, then ask yourself why not. Just ask yourself why not. That's all I would say. If you know why, like because I know about this person, I've heard about this person, I have a feeling about this person, my intuition is telling me about this person, they're a heartbreaker. They're a heartbreaker. Then there's your answer, right? But if you realize that there really is no reason you can't take more time, and as I said, you've been in that state of being a little avoidant or indecisive, then it might be the exact right time, because the Judgment card in the near future is either going to validate that decision or bring about a time where you have to pay for that decision, where you have to endure the consequences of maybe having not considered something that was worthwhile long enough. It's going to be different for all of you. That's why I said you really have to ask yourself, or get a personal reading. There is absolution often with the Judgment card showing up. Forgiveness, perhaps, for yourself, for others, being comfortable and joyful, completely exposed in front of all those around you. Probably not literally naked, but figuratively, completely bare. Your mistakes. That's something that the Judgment card often brings with it. You are aware of your faults, your flaws, your mistakes, probably in the more recent past, but maybe more distant for some, and you are comfortable with everyone knowing that truth about you. And your karma is cleared here. So for a lot of you, normally you would accept this emotional offer. And because your intuition tells you this person is trying to involve you in something shady, something that's too crowded, something that reeks of betrayal, right? Because you listen to your intuition, because you listen to that inclination that you have, or just the practical knowledge that you've gained from your experience with people like this or this actual person, that clears your karma. That's the end of a karmic cycle for you. That means that you've learned your lesson. You're acting on what you've learned. For a lot of you, at long last, finally, rejecting what feels good emotionally because you know it is not healthy for you, even if it would give you immediate gratification. And then with, you know, the path that you're on now, there are going to be mental battles thereafter. And as I said, heading toward a lot more work. When you don't know what to do, just do something. Because it's like with the Seven of Cups here on the bottom of the deck, but then the Eight of Pentacles showing up a second time on the bottom of the clarifier deck. It's like you need your fantasies grounded at this time. It's like you've been entertaining, like I said, a lot of different paths, a lot of different choices. There's been this confusion and this tendency to daydream and fantasize. And that makes me want to look at what's going on with Neptune, be reminded real quick. And yeah, it is still retrograde in Pisces. So you are very influenced by that energy. And what you need to replace that, some of at least, that confusion and fantasizing and daydreaming with, is putting your head down and putting the long hours in. For some of you, you've been avoiding that lately, or it's just been delayed. It's been a Mercury retrograde. It's been hard for us to get to what we meant to do, even when we're doing everything correctly and really want to get to it, right? But because I see verbal arguments, mental fights, verbal arguments or mental battles within yourself in the more distant future, again, that's you know, the third card, I think, that again makes me want you to be sure about turning down this offer. Some of you are 100% sure. And so that's why there's two messages here. You're that other group. But if you're not, then see if you can't get some more time to deal with this, to decide about it. Because the path that you're on now, ultimately there is going to at least be some angst and worry that you made the wrong decision, if not downright regret. But for a lot of you, we see this mental battle coming in because the other person is going to want to have verbal arguments with you about the fact that you're not accepting their offer, which is going to tell you by the end of the month, beginning of December, it's going to tell you pretty quickly that you made the right choice, right? They're going to throw some type of a tantrum, especially if it's someone that you already know. So, for example, one storyline I'm seeing is someone gets an opportunity to move away, to make a go of some type of new work that they want to do, probably something using their voice, singing or speaking, or using their words, something like that. And a person, and it's Mercury retrograde too, a person that they've been involved with, maybe on and off, an ex makes an offer, emotional offer, to try to make them stay. But they decide to transition on, and it is the right choice, because then that ex, that person that wanted you to stay, ends up acting like a child, throwing a little tantrum, and you just put your head down and focus on work. You're just too busy. You're too busy to engage in that nonsense with them, basically. So that's, you know, that's for some. For others, it doesn't play out exactly like that. It may not be an ex, a lover, making that emotional offer, but there's somebody, but it does look like there is somebody trying to get someone else to stay, or trying to win a spot in order to move forward with the querent here, right? So someone's making you an offer to try to get you to stay where they are, or so that they can go with you. Now, maybe that is literal movement to a new place, or just go to your next chapter of your life with you, right? Oh. See, and still others of you, a third group here, is having an intuitive knowing that they shouldn't accept this offer because it will break their heart, disappoint them, or maybe even involve them in a third party situation, more specifically, and they don't listen to that. And so they do resurrect something with someone from their past in the near future, and ultimately end up in arguments, in fights, in internal mental battles because of it, because they didn't listen to that knowing, that they that knowing, that feeling, that inclination to withdraw, to reject the offer. So again, in that scenario, whether you're feeling like you're about to say no, or feeling like you're about to say yes, in either situation, especially if you are having an intuitive tug to say no, but you choose to say yes for some reason. Yeah, in either situation, I would say, do you ask yourself, ask them, do you have to decide right now? Ultimately, this is going to be a head over heart decision, needs to be, for your healthiest outcome. You need time, I think, to gain a new perspective about the offer, the person, the situation, to make sure that you are truly in your power, utilizing all of your resources and power and all of your fire when you answer that question, that you're not coming to it distracted and unsure, feeling weakened, feeling incapable. There is nothing wrong with saying to someone, especially if it is an emotional or heavy decision of any kind, there's nothing wrong with saying to someone, my mind, my emotions, my body even are so tired and exhausted from everything else I'm dealing with. I know I can't really make sense of what the right choice is for me here, or of what I should, how I should respond to you. I need to rest. I need to meditate. I need to get my head uncluttered from everything else that is going on. And depending on the situation, if they don't have urgent time constraints, but are simply peeved by you needing some time to unclutter your mind, which any human being needs, any computer, any brain needs, right? Then that again will show you pretty quickly which choice is the right choice with this person. I want to just keep digging and digging into this reading, Sag. It's very interesting, but I do hope that the needed insight was already able to reach a lot of you. It does look like there's Aquarian energy involved here. So maybe that's who you're dealing with, or that's something that's very highlighted in your chart at this time. If you're interested in digging deeper into your astrology and haven't known where to start, I'd say investigate Aquarius in your chart. Where is Uranus at this time? Where is Uranus? Well, it's in Taurus, but where is it in your chart, right? What area of your chart does Aquarius rule? What planets do you maybe have in Aquarius, etc., etc.? That absolutely could illuminate your path forward. That absolutely may be the type of research that you should be doing in order to empower and know thyself, while you're waiting to make this decision, if you're lucky enough to have some time to think about it before you have to answer. And if you know, you know. If you know that this person's no good, you don't want to be involved, then, like I said, then this reading reads differently, and I tried to illuminate that path as well. You're still, in that case, you're still headed toward a moment of doubt and warring mentally within yourself, some of you, where you then doubt for some time the decision that you made. And one, that is natural, but two, for some of you, it may be caused by the verbal battles that this person's wanting to have with you. And like I said, if that's the case, then you can see very clearly that even though your emotions still may be tugging on you, you obviously made the right choice. If they're petty about you, if they're petty about being patient with you, if they're petty about you rejecting them, right, then that makes it clear what your choice is. And again, sounds very romantic as always, but not necessarily just romantic partnerships here, Sag. But I think, even though I want to dig into this reading, I think we will leave it at that for your November reading. Though it is already mid-November 2019, for some of you, this may be applicable to the entire month of November, since I didn't get readings up for you sooner. For others of you, yeah, it just may be these last couple weeks. But either way, I am sure you all will make very wise choices for yourselves moving forward. Take the time that you need to do so. I hope that you do. And I love you, Sag. Thank you so much for all of your support to Lunartics Tarot and all of the different ways that you do, likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and donations. The link to donate can be found down below in the description box as well. And we're just about to your birthday season. So I won't say happy birthday yet, but you will be getting an extra reading, of course, when the December readings start coming out. So do make the most of the very end of Scorpio season, and of course the beginning of yours. And I look forward to posting another reading for you just as soon as I can.